It is May 13th, 13 Friends for Life Day, when we remind all of the important women in our lives to do that monthly breast self-exam. Just this month, a panel of independent medical experts changed their recommendation to begin biannual mammograms starting at 50 years old to 40 years old. This can help identify breast cancer earlier, making a huge difference in treatment as well as survivability. 13 on your side's Elena Holland spoke to one West Michigan woman diagnosed with breast cancer at a younger age. She shares her story in today's Healthy You.
Diesel, come here.
VanEe.
Come here.
And her dog Diesel can throw a ball for hours.
He's an old man, but he still plays.
But it was the curveball life sent Jen
It was December 23rd, which will be a day I never forget.
that changed all her plans.
He reached over and he was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what was that?" And I felt what was visibly a lump in my breast.
She had a mammogram, ultrasound, and more tests.
At that point, they already told me that I was probably looking at some type of breast cancer.
Confirming triple negative breast cancer.
There was no reason for me to get cancer.
She had no family history, no genetic predisposition.
I was 38 years old, so I was pre-time for being able to get any preventative mammograms.
Thankfully,
Actually, my husband gets the credit for finding my lump.
she began a chemotherapy plan right away.
The beginning is the worst. I would go through periods of coming to terms with, okay, I have breast cancer.
But the thing is, Jen is too strong to dwell on the tough times.
I've never had any mentality outside of this other than having a very long life. And I do think that that has been significantly helpful in me managing all of the symptoms.
She blogs about her journey,
So my blog is onetoughTitty.com.
encouraging other women to do self-exams.
Leaning back, laying on your back is so important because mine was on the underside of my breast. So if I was doing a breast exam and sitting up, I probably would have never found it.
And helping others on their breast cancer paths as well.
There's a lot of people that navigate this journey privately, and I cannot imagine how difficult that would be.
With a few months of chemo, her cancer tissue has thankfully shrunk, and she has a mastectomy scheduled for later this summer.
Everything I'm kind of looking forward to as a next step.
As she said, Jen plans to live a long and happy life despite this curveball, and continue to be the ball of joy for her family and to others with a similar diagnosis.
I look at it as tough. You have cancer. You cannot change that, but you can change how you walk this path. Like, you can choose how you navigate this.
Thanks to Jen for sharing her story with us. And Elena, can you explain more about that change in recommendations for breast cancer screening?
Yeah, Juliet. So the U.S. Preventative Task Force now bumped up the age recommending to get breast cancer screenings from age 50 to 40. But here's the thing. Most healthcare providers are already encouraging patients, especially those with a higher risk, to do a yearly mammogram starting at 40. I spoke with a physician's assistant in the Comprehensive Breast Care at Corewell Health. She says it's good to see the recommendation, but it doesn't change their practice much.
Because of the advances in screening technology, we're able to detect things long before we're able to feel them. And that's where, screening becomes so important. Often if we wait until there are signs and symptoms externally, things have progressed to a much more advanced stage, and then quality of life and treatment can be much more difficult. And so detecting something with screening imaging can often detect it long before that's the case.
However, she said the big difference here is many insurance payers often use this task force's recommendation to determine coverage. So this change will require insurance to cover mammograms after the age of 40.
Important information. Thank you so much, Elena.